If you're a fan of nostalgic and old-school JRPGs, you might want to check this game out. Tales of Graces F Remastered is a remaster of the 12th Tales game, Tales of Graces, and we tried it out for 1 hour on the PS5 at an exclusive media preview event by Bandai Namco. They've added a ton of quality of life features, as well as including over 80 plus DLCs from the original game for free, while still maintaining that original charm, so let's check it out. Before we talk about the remaster, let's get a refresher on what Tales of Graces is. Tales of Graces is an action RPG by Bandai Namco, and it was originally released on the Nintendo Wii. Yeah, the Wii, back in 2009. It is the 12th game in the entire Tales series, which you might be familiar with from the more recent game like Tales of Arise. It was eventually ported to PS3 in 2010 and localized to English in 2012, called Tales of Graces F, with the little f. In general, the Tales games are not connected via the story, so you can start from any game that you like. With the remaster coming out now, it becomes a potential candidate for those looking to get into the Tales series, aside from the more recent games like Tales of Arise. So moving on to the remaster. What's coming back in the remaster? Well, this is a remaster and not a remake, so the majority of the game is pretty similar to the original. The deep and highly praised combat from the original is retained. Story-wise, it is also the same, and it includes the lineages and legacies of the story as well. Everyone retains the Japanese voiceovers from the original game, but now we have the option of playing with an English voiceover. All the original banter and funny skits like post-battle conversations are here too, which are always wholesome to watch. And of course, they are now dubbed in English as well.
He could be Grandpa, I guess?
Pascal.
There will also be more than 80 plus DLCs from the original game brought over to the remaster, which will include a lot of DLC costumes and chats, but unfortunately not all the DLC will be here due to licensing issues. But there's more new stuff than old stuff, so let's move on to that. Starting off with the most obvious change, the remaster has gotten a fresh coat of paint with an improvement to its graphics. Overall, the resolution of character models have been improved and everything looks a lot sharper. With the original game being released on the Nintendo Wii, you can imagine its original resolution was abysmally low, but now you can play it in 4K if you're on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S, with PC having support for 120 FPS, so the combat animations are incredibly smooth now. Consoles will be locked to 60 FPS though, with the Nintendo Switch running on 30 FPS. Overall, the graphics in the remaster is a very nice visual upgrade, at least compared to the original. While it's not a full-blown remake with realistic lighting and high-fidelity models, the art style and direction are pretty much identical to the original, so it hasn't lost its charm at all. Graphics remasters can only go so far when remastering a game, but Tales of Graces F Remastered will be receiving a ton of quality of life features that really transform the game from an old JRPG to a modern one. So here are some of the major ones that we found. The biggest one of them all is the reintroduction of the Grade Shop. So originally, grade points were collected and spent only after you completed the game, and their effects will carry over to your next playthrough, so it's basically like New Game Plus. But in the remaster, the grade shop will now be immediately available on the first playthrough. Players can unlock a bunch of bonuses that greatly change the game, like let's say doubling experience, item drops, expanding your inventory, inheriting all your skills and items, and so on. And there are also some perks that will increase the game's difficulty as well, like increasing criticals and damage taken. We don't know if we'll be given a certain amount of grade to start with, but not giving any would make this feature kinda useless. But at the same time, giving enough grade to unlock everything could make the game too easy. But regardless, these perks can be turned on and off as you wish, so there's no harm in trying them out. The next biggest change is turning off enemy encounters, so you can just avoid battle, even if you come into contact with them. But this mostly applies to the overworld monsters, and you obviously can't skip the important battles. But regardless, it does cut down on the number of useless battles you have to do. Skippable cutscenes. Yes, you can skip cutscenes now. Or you can fast forward a bunch of cutscenes instead, if you don't want to just straight up skip them. The next most important change is navigation. So navigation in the original game was pretty crude, so it was pretty easy to get lost. But now we have new destination icons, which basically help you navigate and tell you where to go. Autosaving, which is something most of us take for granted, is also now a thing, which is very much a necessity for modern JRPGs now. If you are defeated in battle, there is a quick retry option to restart the battle, so you don't need to reload a whole save and lose your progress. Combined with the autosave, this really saves you a lot of headache. On top of the new English dub, if you play in a different language, your characters will now have subtitles for their skills, including some post-battle dialogue, so now we can understand what they're saying, like "Hua! Da!" So, what do we think about this game? Well, remastering this game with the technical and quality of life changes really made this game much more playable on modern hardware, especially with all the things we take for granted. It still suffers from that old JRPG thing, where exploration and pacing is just really slow compared to modern games. It's still much faster than the original game though, by disabling enemy encounters and fast forwarding the cutscenes. Getting lost in games can happen very often as well, but the new destination marker really prevents this problem altogether, which we think is one of the most necessary changes that was needed. One small additional thing we found is that the chest passwords from the original game no longer work, so don't bother searching up some old guide to speedrun the chest or something. Combat-wise, we found it surprisingly deep and unique for a 2009 game. Each character's playstyles are very distinct from each other, which is unlike the typical formula that you'd see in other RPGs. The stances also greatly change up how a character is played, which can sometimes almost rework a whole character with new movesets. The combat also greatly rewards high-skilled players for evading at the right time, which will replenish a portion of your CC meter. This CC meter is your resource bar that replaces the typical mana resource that you see in other games, and we think that this makes the game less about resource management and lets you focus more on chaining attacks and doing combos, which really complements the action RPG side of things. Overall, we can clearly see why the combat in Tales of Graces is so highly praised. Besides that, one of the main charms of the game is the goofy banters and skits between characters.
Sticky. Gross!
During cutscenes, or after combat, they have a bit of interaction with each other, which makes things quite wholesome, and a lot of the times, they're quite funny.
You could be the mom, and Asbel could be the dad!
With the new English voiceovers as well, the dub has been done very well. So to close our thoughts, this game is more than just a graphics remaster, and it has been treated very well by Bandai Namco. Tales of Graces F Remastered will be coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, and PC on 17th January 2025. So will you pick up this game? And which Tales game do you think is up next for a remaster, or maybe a remake? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for future videos just like this one. And also, we have more footage to show you, so sit back and enjoy.
白い服を着ているの？
これか。
油断するんじゃないぞ。
終わらせてやる。全てを切り裂く純派同昇弾。負けるわけにはいかないんだ。
What would you suggest?
Let's try that way. It looks kind of blur, but it's probably where the mouth is. Otherwise, we gotta go out the butt. Absolutely not. Unbelievable! If it makes you feel better, I'm almost sorta totally sure this leads to the head.
I hope so. If we don't hurry, we'll be digested and end up going out its butt anyway.
This is not happening.
Swallowed alive by a rockagong. That's new.
What a mess.
So, does anyone know where we are, or whatever?
Somewhere near its tail, maybe?
In that case, our fastest escape route will be out the butt.
Okay, that's enough. How are you all so calm? I can't stand this one more second.
Sharia, listen. Everyone thinks we should leave through the butt. Let's search for the butt, Sharia. It's the only way.
Sophie? You are making things much worse.
Such a child.
It's because I'm an adult that I can't take it.
Sa, 先を急ごう。
この残り火って街灯か何かだよね。ってことはここって昔は町だったのかな。
もしかするとストラタの中心だったのかもしれないな。
廃墟か。お化けいたりして。
やめてよ。こんな真っ昼間にお化けなんて出るわけないじゃない。ねえアスベル。ちょっと聞いてるアスベル。
聞いてるよ。けど早くバルキネスクリアスを修理しないとユーリベルテもこんな風になっちゃうのかなと思ってさ。バルキネスクリアスのところまで急ごう。
そうだね。
ああ。
何？私だけふざけてるみたいなこの雰囲気は。
敵よ、気をつけて。や、溶造襲撃。は、溶造襲撃。絶対だ。は、ダースの制限。光を。
俺たちの前に敵はない。
怪我しないでね。溶造襲撃。また溶造襲撃。電撃。フェイス昇段。
あれ？終わり？
すぐに終わらせる。
や、そう。は、新連戦。
ブよね。